So this article starts off, first of its kind, Illinois law will penalize libraries that ban books, any books. Doesn't matter what it is.
So I like the premise.
The premise.
But there are guidelines I would put in place, right? I would put age restrictions on different things, right?
Wow,
like,
dare you?
I understand.
How dare you, Chris?
I understand what you're going to say here, but I would.
Good to know. So they want to take away any. So as it stands right now, in most states, the local school districts get to pick and choose what goes in the libraries and stuff.
Yes.
Right? There's general guidelines by the state, but for the most part, the local school districts get to choose.
Absolutely.
This entirely takes that away from them. So the states, or the school districts, will no longer have any control about what's put in their libraries, and any attempt to censor books will take away state funding from that school district.
Are there age limits?
Nope.
Okay.
There's no limits.
Yeah, so I mean, I disagree with this in the way that they've instituted it, right? So here's where I would go. I definitely think it's fair for the state to say, you will hold this book. I do. But
depending on what the book, sure.
But for me, not even depending. But you could tell them.
Do you want 50 Shades of Grey in the
No. So I don't believe that would be on their list, right? So here's the thing. Let's say it was on a high school / college list, and you said, well, the high schoolers don't have access to this book, but the college students do.
Right.
I support it now.
Okay.
Now I support this law. I don't support it the way you just read it.
Agreed.
And so we're not gonna be able to argue on this because
this is just.
But by the way,
part of what I think.
If I'm doing this, the Bible is being reserved for 10th grade and higher.
That's fine. But
I'm just saying, disgusting book.
This is not the way to go.
Full of incest and rape and murder.
I think it's a little different than that. But
the Bible?
Yeah.
There's no incest?
I think its presentation and the fact that it's a historical text is entirely different.
It's not historical.
But is it in elementary school?
It's not historical. Show me Adam and Eve before you say it's historical. That's bullshit. I'm not letting you say it's historical.
A lot of it is proven to be.
Show me anything outside of the Bible that shows that Jesus was even a real dude.
Okay.
It doesn't actually exist.
Okay.
It doesn't.
All I'm saying is the text is a historical text. It's a 2,000-year-old at least text, right? I think you can agree with that.
No, the New Testament was written about 500 years after they think Jesus lived. So
okay, the New Testament, the Old Testament.
Yeah, the Old Testament's older.
The New Testament's derived from the Old Testament. So I will say
again, not really though.
Let's say 500 years after.
So the Old Testament tells the story of a God who if the second you say anything negative about him, he just smites you and you're dead. God now is like, oh, all touchy-feely. So, all right, here's what I want to present to you. You're telling me that this is a text about...
Wait, we're not turning this into...
I am a little bit. Just this one statement.
Okay.
You're telling me that the Bible is the story of an all-knowing, all-powerful God who decided after the Old Testament, well, I've been a little bit crabby. How about we just start loving? That's garbage. So he's not perfect.
I didn't write it.
I know. The whole Old Testament, you're saying he was faulty and he knew it, and then he changed his mind.
I'm saying that the Bible is a different text than what these people are going.
Bible's garbage.
As far as their base.
That's what I'm saying.